All right, here we go. So, yesterday I was watching. Oh, oops. Yesterday I was watching the Ken Clash Royale channel, and he was talking about something that I thought was, a little bit more serious than usual. But he was discussing the importance of boredom, and you know, shockingly enough, for Ken, this was, quite the deep topic. But I think he was getting at something pretty freaking important there. He was saying that he thinks boredom is actually important, and he thinks that boredom is like kind of the catalyst for a lot of important things, creativity, all that, and it's an important emotion to have. And honestly, I agree with Daddy Ken. I mean, of course, you can cure your boredom with things like Clash Royale and scrolling on TikTok, Reels, YouTube, whatever it may be, Twitter. And honestly, I think always searching to cure boredom is I mean really not healthy. And I actually agree with Daddy Ken. Okay, maybe we should stop calling him Daddy. It's a little crazy. But anyways, to cure today's boredom, we're going to the gym. I mean, this is a catalyst for creativity. So I've decided that we're going to hit a crazy chest day. I'm thinking, I don't know about incline Smith machine today. I'm feeling more of a dumbbell incline start. I'm gonna try to keep my shoulders like internally rotated rather than having like some external shoulder flexion. Just to really make sure we're targeting the upper chest. That might require a drop in weight, but honestly, I think that will be fine. I don't know. I think there's something scientific about it, but I feel my upper chest more when my elbows are like more tucked in rather than flared out to the sides, if you know what I mean. You could test it out with a lighter weight. I think you'll see what I'm talking about, and I'm pretty sure it is like scientifically backed, but I digress. Anyways, we're gonna do that. Of course, we're doing cable flies. Don't even ask me what I'm doing second. It's always cable flies. I don't care what my routine is. Cable flies go second. And then we're going to finish off with, I think we'll do incline press on the plate loaded machine today. I haven't done that one in a while. No, I think we did that one last time actually. But I don't know. I'm feeling it. Even though we bench pressed yesterday and like maxed out, my chest isn't really cooked. So I think we're still good for a chest day today. I mean, what's interesting about the bench press is how much the back is utilized, and I think we're gonna just continue into shoulders again, shoulder press, lateral raises, and then just triceps to finish off. I mean the usual cardio, of course. Don't even try me with cardio, and then we'll finish off. Come home, have a meal. I think we'll skip the pose down today. I think maybe we've gotten a good baseline. I'm sitting at around 170 right now, 170 pounds. I'm about 5'8". And looking pretty good. I'm in like a main gain state, not quite cut down, not quite bulked up, but I think it's time to enter enter a new phase. I feel like when you don't have a goal in the gym, you're kind of like lost. I how should I word this? I feel like when I have a specific objective that I'm working for in the gym, I mean more so than the broad like, oh, I want to like build muscle, or oh, I want to work on this. I mean very specific, like I need to gain muscle in this specific area, or I want to gain weight, or I want to lose weight. I mean very specifically, like I want to gain a pound a week by doing XYZ movements and eating XYZ calories. I mean, do you know what I mean? I feel like when I have a very specific goal with a very specific set of like guidelines and like little things to follow, I find it a lot easier to like focus on the objective and to like really push it hard, because it feels like there's a very specific end in sight. I'm not trying to like get into a whole argument about ends and means and justifying actions, but I don't know. I just find that when there is a very specific goal to work towards, things usually are a little bit more centered, focused, balanced. I don't know if that makes much sense. And also, I don't know. I feel like it's very fun when you finally get to a point where you can have like a mini checkpoint of, oh, I did it. Like it's been 3 months in, and you're like, okay, I successfully did the bulk. I mean, it's nice. It's like a little prize. We just succeeded. Let's go. Time to move on to the next phase. It always feels like you're progressing. I don't know. Rather than, I'm not a huge main gainer type of guy, just because I feel like when I'm main gaining, I'm in a state of flux. Like I'm kind of eating a lot, but I'm kind of not. I mean, I'm still tracking, but like it's pretty loose. And then, like I'm lifting hard, but because I'm not in like a surplus, I don't really feel like I'm getting any stronger or building any more muscle. And and when I'm in a deficit, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's weird because when you're in a surplus, you can really feel like the increase in strength and power, and when you're in a deficit, you can really feel like you're starting to look freaky. But when you're in that main gain state, I just think like mentally it's a little bit tougher. Now, I know it might technically be a little bit better to stay in a main gaining state, but I just find it easier to follow like a bulking cutting method. Not to say that I do crazy bulks and cuts though. I would avoid the again the 700 to 1,000 calorie bulks per day of a surplus. No, 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 no. That is a little too crazy for me. Back to the topic at hand, though. We were discussing boredom, and I got sidetracked getting all excited about chest. I think there's not enough boredom nowadays, especially with like all the distractions. I mean, readily available. I I mean, I'm not like an unk or anything. Okay, well maybe I am an unk. I am 20, but regardless, back like when I was like I don't know 5, 6, 7, I I did have an iPad, but there wasn't really any social media out there or anything like that, and I was heavily restricted on my technology use. So I had a pretty like outdoorsy childhood, doing like a lot of if I was bored, I'd have to go play basketball, for example, or I just have to go and like just figure it out in the yard, get on my bike, do something. But I felt kind of a shift, late middle school, beginning of high school, really on the surge of TikTok when it like came out and it was like really really big. I mean, it just like transformed from if you were bored, you like tried to figure out like something to do for yourself, come up with an idea, to just I might as well just open TikTok and then like you just scroll through. And I think what's dangerous about it is it's kind of like I can feel that like okay, when it released, I wasn't really like used to it, so like I didn't use it that much. I'm more of an Instagram guy, but whatever. But in recent like years, as of last year, 2, 3, I don't know. I feel like even sometimes when I'm bored, I'll just like I don't even mean to open Instagram. I'll just like reflexively unlock my phone, click on Instagram, and I don't even want to be on there. And it's kind of crazy. And I know you might be watching this on here right now, but I don't think that's very healthy. So trying a little bit of a detox. I mean, part of something that I was thankful for my boredom was starting this channel. I mean, it's given me something to do, again, an objective to work towards, which I think it's great when you have kind of like a purpose. That's what I was missing. I felt like something was missing when I was talking about like an objective. I feel like finding a purpose to work towards is so much more fun than like kind of aimlessly like working towards a broad goal. Having a purpose with like mini objectives is great. Anyways, I don't know. The boredom really helped me like come up with this idea to I mean it's not very innovative, but still it's something, and it helped me make a change. But if your boredom is always satisfied by something, even if you're not really satisfied, if it's like barely satisfactory, it's like just enough to keep you not bored. Think back to COVID. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you at first had a lot of fun having all the phone time and watching TV, but by the end of it, especially for me, it was like barely satisfactory. It was just enough to keep me like entertained enough not to lose my mind, but also like not really enjoying it, but just enough to like not freak out about it and be like, oh, I'm super bored. Being in that state is, I think, a dead zone. It's just murky. I mean, you sit there and there's like nothing to do, and you don't really want to do anything. It just makes you lazy. I don't know. Getting dopamine and endorphin blasted, even though you're like actually bored, just like puts you in this state of flux, limbo, where you can't really do anything. I don't really know what I'm getting at here. It's a tough topic. This is a more serious issue at hand. I fear for the children of the future, this Gen Alpha coming up, but oh well. I'm sure this will be all of our problems soon enough. Anyways, I'm gonna try to cut back on Instagram use, TikTok use, all that. YouTube YouTube Shorts. I don't know what's been going on recently. They've been getting me, but might have to settle down on that as well, and then maybe we'll just focus our efforts onto Clash Royale and hitting Ultimate Champion. Maybe that's another transient goal. I don't know. Anyways, whatever. Let's just focus on the gym. Plan as usual. Go hard. Go strong. Go crazy. It's kind of a struggle to throw in that cardio as usual. I mean, I feel like at the end of every workout, I almost have to force myself to do it. But again, feels great after you've done it. The mic quality has been decent, I think. I don't know. I mean, I've been looking back at the videos. I know this is kind of like another sidetrack, but I think it's all right. It's not the best, but it works good enough. At least the music and like the random gym noises aren't being blasted in the background. But yeah. Anyways, I think that's enough yapping for now. Let's zone in, get our mindset focused, and let's just get a crazy lift in today. I'll see you at the incline dumbbell bench. Let's go. Okay. Plan is to do 2 sets here, light-ish. I'm going to try the 75s for a set, aiming for like 8-ish, but we'll just see what happens. Whew. Yeah, we'll go hard, do 2 of these relatively quickly, take a couple minutes of rest in between, but, same as usual. Just hop right into the first one. Oh, man. Okay, well, we barely got those. I think that was good. We got like a 9 there, barely, so probably have 8 in this next set. One more of those and go on flies. Now, a really common mistake I notice a lot on this, and I think I've discussed this before, but it's just not going deep enough and not focusing on the stretch. A lot of people stop short about right here. Dumbbell hits the shoulder and kind of gets stuck. But if you really lighten up the weight and focus on kind of letting it go back, you can really get that chest to stretch back and you'll hit it even better. But it's very easy to fall into the common error of just getting here and just pumping out a heavy weight, but you're really not finishing the rep completely, if you know what I mean. But if you just focus more on controlling it and getting it as deep as you can, now not to a crazy extent, but get it a little extra deep and then press rather than get to here and then go, you'll feel that chest working a lot better. So just a little bit of a word of caution and advice, but let's get this last one going now. Okay, come on. Now, if I had a spotter, that would make this even crazier because I could push it even further, but we'll just see. When it gets really hard, I'm just going to control it back down and throw it down. Let's do this. Okay, felt kind of early there. We can just pump out some extra volume on flies. But that was freaking barbaric. Let's move on. So a common mistake I see on these is kind of staying too tight. And that's what a lot of beginners like to do. They don't really stretch, don't really allow the arm to kind of spread out and move more back. When you do that and stay kind of restricted and constricted, you again restrict the range of motion in your chest, which on a lot of these movements, it's not really all about the weight. It's more so the range of motion that's going to help you get that deeper stretch and get more of that muscular contraction that you're looking for to build the muscle. So instead of picking a really heavy weight and kind of hitting a stopping point there, pick something a little bit lighter so you can kind of open up a little bit more and let everything go back. So let's try that here. And of course, if you start with a weight and it's too heavy, don't be afraid to move back down. I mean, a lot of the time, like, you feel like you have to do the same weight for like your whole set, but that's not the case most of the time. And that's what I usually do. I usually start off with like 25, 30, just depending on how I'm feeling, and then I'll drop it down a click or even two if I've gotten fatigued. So let's see if we can demonstrate that on the set. I'm going high to low today, just switching up the fly variation just because. But anyways, step forward. Really let those arms stretch back. Ugh. Oh my goodness. Those were freaky. Haven't done these high to low ones in a while, so definitely going to drop down. And again, don't be afraid to let your shoulders roll back a bit and to try to extend when you're coming down. That'll help you kind of fight through the rep and get that full squeeze near the peak of the rep. Of course, squeeze and stretch. A little bit of both. Okay, let's do this. A couple more here. Oh, and what's funny is I feel like that one was a little too light, but it should be fine for the last set. I feel like if there was a click in between 20 and 25, that would be perfect today, but whatever. One more here, and we'll finish off with some incline press. Okay, we'll give you a different angle for this last one. Kind of see what it looks like from the front. Okay. Now you can step forward with either leg. Nice. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. That was nice. Let's catch our breath here and get the last one going. Okay. Well, based off recent history, we haven't been getting as much as we usually do on these. That could have something to do with the fact that the creatine has been out of the system completely for like a month now. So I'm sure it's like totally gone and having no effect at this point. But we'll keep it a little bit lower since we've been dropping every time. And yeah, I mean, the idea again is, I mean, at this point it's the last set or last exercise, so I'm not really too worried about an insanely deep stretch, but we'll just try to pump out 2 sets, get some extra volume in here, and then we can just move on to other things. And I've been kind of rethinking what I want to do on triceps, especially when we get to that. I mean, the shoulders have been fine, but I don't know if you've seen those like Olympic, what are they called? It's the dudes, the gymnasts, the dude gymnasts that like do those like rings that like, they're like on those rings floating and they like control like all their movements and stuff on it. I mean, if you look at those guys, they have insane triceps and insane lats. And I think there's, one of 2 possibilities. Either maybe they're just genetically built to be good at that certain sport, so that's why they all like, all like the top athletes tend to have the big triceps, big lats, or maybe something about the movements they're doing is giving them those big triceps and lats. So I think it's probably a little bit of both, but anyways, pull-ups, and I'm thinking dips, especially today is triceps. We're going to do dips. So I think I want to do some body weight dips, but I might finish with those because body weight I can crank out a lot of reps fresh. But if I'm not fresh, like if I start with, say some rope extensions and then do the dips, I think that'll be really good. So it's definitely something to that. I mean, it's a different feeling when you're controlling your own body. I mean, it's got to be something. I mean, look at those guys. Anyways, I digress. Let's just get a crazy set going here. Okay. Okay. Oh, dang. Oh, almost had that one. Let's play a Clash Royale game and get the next set going. Whew, okay. Okay, last chess set. Let's go. You know what? Let's drop set this. Just take one of these 10s off on either side. Feeling it right now. Okay. That's enough there. Shoulders. Now, again, normally I wouldn't suggest supersetting on shoulders, but if you're pressed on time on your usual schedule and you want to just make sure you're getting everything in, then just throw it all together. Do your shoulder press and do your lat raises. Now, it is going to kind of drop the weight that you can do, and you might not be able to push the intensity like to an insane point on either, but at least you're doing them. And again, a lot of the secret to like building big muscles in general is just the consistency at which you're hitting them. I mean, I'd rather do something like 2 or 3 times at like a pretty good intensity than just once at like, insane intensity. So, sometimes volume can beat out intensity, even if you aren't going to like, crazy failure or really pushing the weight at all. But if you got the time, I'd recommend splitting it up, doing maybe cables instead, doing, a separate rear delt movement. But again, whatever. Let's just get this moving on. Trying out the little seat again today, even though I'm not a big fan. Okay. Sliding a bit on the seat.
it also appears my mic may have died, so this could be a problem. I hope the audio is getting picked up, guys. Looks like my mic may have died, so I guess we'll have to see when we roll the tapes back, but let's just get a nice second. Okay, one more and we're out of here. Well, devastating news for the unemployed. My mic was actually dead. So everything from my second set of shoulders to all the triceps I did until the last set are completely cooked. But I really didn't say anything. I mean, just to give you guys a small recap, pretty much all I said was I wasn't gonna do the third set of shoulders on video, which I just pumped them out. I mean, I feel like the shoulders series, I mean, you get the idea. All I was saying was I was lightening up the weight, focusing on the stretch, and I just got right into it, went crazy. Triceps, all I said on push downs, again, was I did like a lighter warm-up set, 2 really heavy sets, and with the heavy weight, again, I was just discussing, like the one thing I talked about was wrists. If your wrists are stopping you on push downs, just get wrist wraps, not straps, because the wraps can help support your wrist. They don't aid your grip, but they can stop your wrist from collapsing back. So devastated. I was also saying on this that I love this movement, especially for bigger guys, or not bigger guys, but for anyone in general, because again, the whole Olympic thing, and also be careful on if you're using your triceps or your chest. If you're more leaned forward, you're getting your triceps. If you're kind of more leaned back, you're gonna get your chest activated. Keep these rolled in if you really wanna, keep that tight triceps in. If you're a bigger dude, roll them out and use them like that. Devastated that the mic cut out because I thought there was some pretty good stuff in there, but let's just get one more set and then we'll do a pose down and continue. It's a good learning experience, so nothing to be angry about. This is, of course, my own fault. Let's get our last set. And we'll throw in a bonus pose down as an apology. I wasn't planning on doing one, but hey, let's go. Okay, on to the pose down. All right, well, nothing we can really do about the audio cutting out, but it is what it is. All I was pretty much saying was there is a pretty big advantage to doing those bodyweight movements like the dips. I think it's just another great way to switch up the exercises and keep it fun. And what's also really good about it is you can really, really load it up. I mean, of course, if you're bad at it, there's always that support, which is great. But also, if you're a little bit more of an advanced guy, you can load up weight by like adding those chains, or like like you can wear like that belt where you can attach the weight to it, which is just great. Okay, I just had to hit the craziest like 12-point turn ever to pull out of the parking spot here, but whatever. Anyways, dude, I need to lock in and get in the gym, man. I mean, bro, I need to get in here and lock in. Do you know how many times I've heard people say that? Now, while I would love for everybody to be honest when they're saying, like, bro, I'm gonna lock in, I know that a lot of the time it isn't gonna happen. And for most people, it isn't gonna happen. And that's okay. I mean, I'm not judging that, but again, if you want to get in the gym and you want to like achieve all your goals and you want to get big, you can't just always talk about locking in and never actually lock in. I mean, the amount of times I've heard this from people, like they'll come up to me and be like, "Oh, bro, dude, looking good, but man, I gotta lock in and get in the gym." Locking in isn't like a temporary state of mind. It shouldn't be driven from like your like momentary motivation. Locking in is a discipline. And again, discipline is going to be a lot stronger than motivation for keeping you in the gym. And I think going back to the idea of boredom, being bored and wanting something to change about your life as it is right now is a great way to get yourself mentally dialed in to be able to get yourself to go to the gym. And I think it's a very powerful thing. If you can harness that emotion of boredom to spark your creativity, to decide, okay, I need to do something decisive to change, then that's great. Of course, that's much better than, wasting your time away, whiling your time away, just scrolling on Instagram and TikTok. I mean, I don't know how many of you are sitting here watching this right now. Hello, all 4 of my viewers. But if you're just sitting down on your couch right now, doing nothing, scrolling through videos, I would even recommend click off my YouTube video and just go to the gym or do something. Instead of I don't know, I feel like it's a lot healthier to do things and actually figure things out to do to cure your boredom rather than just sit down and open TikTok and scroll. I feel like I keep repeating the same thing over and over again, but I feel like boredom really is the catalyst for a lot of great things. I think humans were meant to think. I don't know if we were meant to always be stimulated. It's just not the way I think we've evolved over I don't know, centuries, thousands of years at this point. I mean, it's only been recently where all of our food needs are met, all of our comfort needs are met, and everything, our satisfaction and boredom is all met constantly by everything. So, I don't know. Back to locking in though, nothing gets on my nerves more than locking in other than Mega Night. I mean, seriously. Well, I'm sure none of you guys are like that. Anyways, pose down did not happen. It's okay. Locker room was it would have been a little crazy if I posed down in the locker room today. Let's just say that there was a lot of the classic old man naked in the locker room today. Of course, there's nothing wrong with that, but you don't want to be rude and film in a public space like that with people changing. I mean, that's just bad. That's bad taste. Anyways, cardio was nice. Watched the JoJo's episode. Pretty freaking crazy. I'm almost done with Stone Ocean. Might have to pick up the manga itself. Very, very good series. It's so absurd. I mean, you see all these things about JoJo's references and stuff like that, and then you watch the show and then you get it. It might legitimately be one of the funniest pieces of content I've consumed ever. But I digress again. Anyways, that's pretty much all I got for today. Tomorrow's video is it's just a cardio, so I guess I'm gonna do another car talk, but I want to discuss an important subject. Something a little bit different than usual. Got a guy swerving in front of me. Kansas driving, man. What can I say? Yeah, it'll be a little bit of a different type of video. I kind of want to talk about, this is a little bit more relatable to myself and people around my age, but, going to college and, the things you can do to succeed there. Of course, we'll tie it back into lifting, but I think this is a good time of the summer to have something like this out there. Just a little bit of advice from somebody that went through it. I mean, I'm going through into my 3rd year right now. I'm a pre-med student, so I don't know. Okay, we'll get into all that tomorrow. I'm getting sidetracked. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. It's pretty much all I got for y'all today, but yeah. Sick workout, sick pump. Gonna charge up my mic today. Not gonna forget that. And yeah, that's about it. Peace.